Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be fun. Mermaid makeup for beginners, because Lord knows I'm not an expert, but you know what? I think it came out really cute. Subscribe, hit the bell, the usual. All right, I'm going to start off with primer. I'm using the Too Faced Prime Poreless Skin Smoothing Face Primer, and I basically just dab that and smooth it all over my skin. And I even press against the inner parts of my cheeks, or like right around my nose area, because I'm about to be 30, y'all, and it seems like the pores want to come with me. So we're just going to fill those in a little bit. This is actually a trick that I picked up on. So I've been using Paint Pot on my nose because my nose gets really shiny, really slippery, really oily, really greasy. It's just, my makeup just doesn't stick. So I've been putting Paint Pot on my nose and just kind of makes it a little more tacky, a little more matte. And it just kind of helps to keep the makeup from sliding off of my nose. So now I'm going to conceal a little bit of the redness, the little red spots that I have on my face. So this time I'm using the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer in the shade Tan. So I just kind of dot the concealer around the spots that are noticeable, and then I dab with my finger, and little by little they start to disappear. All right, so moving on to foundation, I'm actually going to be doing a mixture of two things, so the Makeup Forever and the Stroke Cream, to kind of give it like a nice luminous glowy look. So I'm just gonna splat a little bit on a paper plate, because that's how we do, and then I just kind of smear that all over my face with a flat brush till I have most of my face covered, and then I just go in with my Real Techniques beauty blender. Not really a beauty blender, but close enough beauty blender. It's just a sponge, so I'm just tapping that all over, making sure that everything blends nicely. So now I'm going to conceal the under eye area, because we're going to go from designer bags to designer pocketbooks. Yes! And with the same sponge, I just pat it out, blend it out. And for setting under the eyes, I'm actually going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in the shade Medium, or number 2. All right, moving on to the brows. It's exciting for me because it's the only thing I managed to do right, even though I have no real technique to it. I'm using a spoolie to comb them out, give them a little shape, and then with an angled brush, I just dip it into some chocolate brown, and I gently brush my eyebrows, just kind of fill them in the spaces that are a little sparse. Okay, now I'm priming my eyes with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance 24-Hour Anti-Crease Eyeshadow Primer. I basically just smear it on the lid and draw up. That's basically it. No real science to it, guys. All right, now we're going to play with some color. So I'm taking the Jordana Easy Liner for Eyes retractable pencil and just filling in the eyelid area. And I just try not to go over the crease, so I'm just kind of, coloring them in. And then with a flat brush, I'm using the MAC, what is this, 239. I basically just smear whatever I just put on my eyelid. And with the same eyeliner, I'm lining my waterline. And then of course going back with that same brush and just kind of smoking that out. And for the shadow, I'm using the Maybelline Expert Wear Teal the Deal eyeshadow and just packing that on the lid to make it as teal as possible. And then taking a little bit more and this time smoking out as much as possible the bottom lid. Now I'm taking the Maybelline Expert Wear eyeshadow in the shade Forest Green, and with a fluffier brush, I'm using the MAC 217. I apply that in sweeping motions across my crease. And once I got it to the color that I needed it to be, I went in with an even fluffier brush. This time I'm using the Milani eyeshadow blending brush, which is one of my favorite blending brushes, and just blend as much as possible, again in those windshield wiping motions. And I try to drag it out towards the corners of my eyes, like very exaggerated like. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just gonna blend all that together anyway in the end, so take your time or rush, whatever you want to do. Now I'm using an even skinnier type of brush. I don't even know what kind of brush this was, y'all, but with this brush in that same forest green, I try to smoke out the bottom as much as possible. We're going to be moving on to that same color, and this time we're going to be contouring. Ooh, expert word. This time I'm using Reina Rebelde's brush number 4. I just like it because I feel like I can pack more color onto it, and I take a generous dab of the forest green and apply it in areas where I would normally contour my face. Now I'm not a contour expert, but I just stick to like the cheekbones area, around the temples, maybe even around the forehead hairline area. I would recommend starting off light and just building up from there, because you don't want to go ham right off the bat and then you just feel like you have too much right at the end. So just kind of build up, a little bit at a time until you get the look that you're kind of going for, which is mermaid-ish. Okay, we're just gonna say mermaid-ish. So hollows of the cheeks, temples, forehead. I think I even went, yep, chin, just a little bit on the chin. Bring it down the neck a little bit. You want to make it look a little more realistic, not just on your face. And then going back with the Teal the Deal eyeshadow, I'm gonna get a generous amount of color on the same brush as much as possible. Get a little color in there. Please do not forget to get as close to the hairline as possible, maybe even a little over the hairline, because once you are done, if you just have like a big gap between your hairline and your face, it's just gonna look not as natural as you want to feel like a natural mermaid. Okay, we're family now. It's about to get real. These are fishnet stockings that I'm putting over my head. Fishnet stockings are the key to giving you realistic looking scales. Just be sure to push as much of your hair back as possible. Otherwise, the hair is going to interfere with the scale pattern that you're trying to go for. So now I'm taking the NYX Prismatic Shadow in the shade Mermaid, which is totally appropriate. And this time I'm going to be dabbing the color onto me, just pouncing the color onto my face over the fishnet stocking. And you don't really want to stick to any particular pattern, just kind of going over the areas where you previously contoured, so places that already have color, and just pack that shimmer on, pack that color on like there's no tomorrow. Next, I'm going in with the NYX Prismatic Shadow in the shade Glass Slipper, and this time I'm using a Reina Rebelde brush number 1, which is basically the same brush, just smaller, and I kind of go back and forth between the two brushes. Again, I just like the fact that it has more of like a flatter tip, so it'll help press the color onto the skin better, in my opinion. And because I wanted more than just the teal and the green look, I'm using the Prismatic Shadow, again, NYX eyeshadow in the shade Liquid Gold. I like that it gave it a little bit of variety in the colors. This way I've got some teal, I've got some green, and now I have little touches of gold, little speckles of gold. You can't be a mermaid without some gold. Now this is completely optional, but I think it gave it a little bit of oomph, but I'm using the Marc Jacobs Do You Dewdrops for extra mermaid highlight. And I basically just take the round part of my beauty blender and pounce that onto the highlights of my face. I just feel like it helped the next step really pop and really shine. So now I'm taking the Ella Rose Minerals Golden Strobing Highlighter. You can, I'm pretty sure, use whatever highlighter you have at home. I just felt like this was the most intense highlighter that I had, and I pounced that or dabbed that again right on top of the liquid highlight that I had previously used, and I really love the extra light that it gave this look. The reason why I did one side at a time is because it kind of gave me more control in holding the fishnet stocking so that it wouldn't move around, because if the stocking moves, you're kind of like disrupting the pattern, and so you might be going over some spots that already have a defined scale look, so you're just going to kind of mess it up. Now it's time for the big reveal. Look, oh, mira-la, oh, Ariel looking girl. So I'm using the Revlon Photo Ready Eye Art lid, line, and lash. Nowhere does it say lips, but I loved the way that this looked on my lips. This is in the shade Green Glimmer, or 10, and then I just used the same thing and went over my lids to intensify the eyes a little bit more. All right, so you remember that strobing highlighter that I used for the scales? I took some of that and I put that in the inner corners of my eyes to really make the eyes pop a little bit more, and then I also brushed it along the brow bone, and I'm using a skinny brush. Y'all, I don't even know where I got this from. I think it's a Real Techniques, oh, accent brush. Is that what it says? I don't know, it's smudged. Ooh, I'm feeling myself with my mermaid look. All right, don't judge me. I don't know how to put lashes on still to this day, but that's okay because I'm going to be using my secret weapon, the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I love this mascara. I'm basically just going to throw on about 3 or 4 coats of this. It's really going to make my lashes stand out without the need of false lashes, in my opinion. And that is basically it for the makeup. So when it comes to setting everything, I'm using 2 things. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, long lasting, to ensure that my makeup stays put all night. And then on top of that, I'm going to be using the LC Hydra Enhancer. I've been using this a lot to set my makeup even after using a regular setting spray, just because I want to keep my skin looking hydrated and luminous and glowing, and I thought it was appropriate for this mermaid look, so I sprayed them both. Now let's move on to the hair. I've been playing around with these chalks that I got at the drugstore. It's just regular hair chalk, but I'll leave the information down in the description box below. And some spots are already pre-colored, but I just wanted to kind of add some more color, if you will. This is completely optional, y'all. It's just that when I think of mermaids, I think of big hair, I think of curls, I think of waves or beach waves. So I say rock your natural hair, rock it however you want. Just make sure it's big and flowy. And if you can, add some color in it, because why not? It's Halloween. So this pack came with a variety of colors, but I used the blue and the green. It definitely didn't come out as bright as I wanted it to, and I think it's because my hair is really dark. But you know what? For what it's worth, I was fine with it. If you don't want to add color to your hair, then you can use a headband. If you find something with pearls or with stars or like starfish or anything that's kind of like underwater related, then I think it would really fit with the theme of mermaids. But you know what? I think for this look, I'm fine with the colors. And here I eventually put some more of that shadow onto my collarbone and on my neck and shoulder area, just because my outfit was like a strapless bustier seashell looking tube top. Add a little shadow to the hands and arms, because why not? And my look is complete. I had so much fun recreating this mermaid look for y'all. So if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed already. Let me know in a comment below if you plan on dressing up as a mermaid this Halloween or for any occasion, like a Tuesday afternoon going to the grocery store. And if you happen to recreate this look, please post a picture and tag me in it at RisasRizos. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, all the above. All the information is going to be down in the description box below. I love y'all. Un besito, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.